of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I knew she looked familiar.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Thank you.
From the Christian Service Center.
That's it.
Father God, we come today with thanksgiving in our hearts for your reckless love you have smeared upon us.
Thank you.
We thank you for the privilege to invite your presence into this district school board meeting today. We ask you to please help this board to be sensitive to your leading and to utilize your wisdom and all they do to educate our next generation. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Pastor McCoy. At this time, our agenda calls for presentations. The Pilot Club of Palatka recognition of Clay Electric grant for handicap access playground equipment, Mrs. Helen Muir and
Y'all all
company.
come up here. They look so cute. They need to all come up here.
They're coming. Hey, we wore the
And they have the mascot for EH.
If you let
What a
Jane,
blessing.
if you let Jane Darton talk, we'll never get out of here. I didn't say anything.
Actually, I heard Jane Darden. We did this together.
Yeah.
And Shirley. Shirley, where's Shirley? She can talk though.
Yeah. Oh, I get to talk. Okay. Well, basically, we're just really happy to be able to provide really a handicap accessible playground for E.H. Miller. And it was through the generosity of Clay Electric. And we were fortunate enough to get the grant, write the grant, and we are just so excited for the kids. And that's what it's about, and that's what our club is about, is providing service to our community, especially related to brain issues. So we're just happy to be here, and I think we've broken ground.
well-
like we're really close now.
Yeah, okay, I will talk. First of all, we want to thank Dr. Surency, Rick, and your staff, and especially John Chastain. He has been absolutely wonderful. He's kept us apprised of everything that's going on. They are to install the playground. What they're going to do is dig down like 5 to 6 inches deep. They put a rubber film, mulch kind of stuff for the kids. We have a double swing. The wheelchair rides right onto the swing. And then we also have a smaller swing for the smaller children that they can take the child out of the wheelchair, put them in the swing. So that's a big double commercial swing. We have a little shovel digger for children to stand behind, and they can actually dig the sand. And then we have a bumbling Betty or a bouncing Betty or something. I don't know what it is. But it's something for the kids, the smaller kids. And they don't, and it's not, it's handicap approved, but it doesn't, you don't have to be you can't be in a wheelchair to use it. But anyway, we're just delighted, and we're going to, for 2 more years, we're going to write 2 more grants and hopefully get $15,000. That's what we were told to do by Clay Electric. They were thrilled, and we're thrilled because we have to send pictures of the finished product so that we can write another grant. So
Please invite us out for the grand opening.
ladies.
yeah, we will. February 25th is when they're supposed to actually be there. But they had to back order 2 of the play things. Yeah.
You couldn't
So,
have picked a better cause than what you did.
but they are our cause. That where everything we do is just pretty much E.H. Miller. That's our and for the community, we were instrumental. They're going to put a handicapped swing at Hank Bryan Park. That should be in by the summer. So we've been the squeaky wheel gets a grease. We've been the squeaky wheel. We've been
Jane's really
greasing.
good at squeaking.
I do squeak well. But anyway, we're delighted,
I
and
know some parents that are going to be delighted that their
I think so
children have
too.
access to
I think so
playground.
too.
Love to see the kids Reminds me of Justin.
I know, David, you put windows in there for him, we remember.
Well, y'all want to talk about the fundraiser y'all just had?
Well, that wasn't for E.H. Miller.
I know, but it's the Pilot Club.
Oh, the Pilot Club.
Okay.
Yeah, that was for our Anchor Club at Palatka High School. All the proceeds
Right,
went to
okay.
them.
But I was able to go to that, and we had a great time.
It
And
was fun. Bunko was
That
a
is-
ball.
And we're having another one in October.
October, yeah.
that's Bunko.
We'll be back to sell tickets.
It's all legal and everything.
But
so.
the men had as much fun as the women. It was a ball.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. Yeah, the food is
yes.
good. We're good cooks. We're good cooks. But
Well, could we
we
get a-
thank you for allowing us to.
We get a picture with y'all out front,
Oh, yes.
We would love it.
and maybe our board chair.
You know what
on,
would
Seymour.
be also good would be the next time they're at the school to get them to take a picture with the kids in there.
That'd be great.
Oh,
Yes.
that would,
We're gonna do that.
we'll definitely do that because we're going to send it to Clay Electric when we apply for the next one.
Madam Board Chair, would you step down and let's take a picture?
Yes, sir.
Do not stand in front. In front here, yeah. I'm in the back. Come here, Shirley. I am not going to be in these jeans that are too tight.
We know how to do this, tall in the back.
We'll do the pilot pose, y'all.
wanna-
We'll do the pilot pose. Everybody turns in.
Jane Crawford, quit talking about her.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the wonderful work y'all do.
Did you send your check for Eddie Mooney yet?
Well, I sent them a $250
Oh,
check.
thank you. You are
And I
wonderful.
can't go.
Hey, you tell, hey, Jane.
Yeah, that day when
See,
I,
I'm everything.
Jane, you tell Justin I said his girlfriend looks really
I
good.
will.
I loved it. He had a date. She chaperoned him.
it's nothing on it.
He's 23.
Again, we want to thank the Pilot Club for what each of you are doing and what your group is doing as a whole. And I'm sure the parents are very appreciative, and Mr. Simons, I'm sure he is. All righty.
He's worked very well with us. Robbie's been wonderful.
Okay, thank you.
He's a doll. We love, and the teachers.
Okay, thank you. Okay, at this time, our agenda calls for the public hearing. Item C1, amendment to policy number 8420, school safety, emergency management, emergency preparedness, and emergency response agency.
Madam, I make a motion to accept the recommendation.
I second that.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. David Buckles and seconded by Mrs. Jane Crawford. All in favor, let it be known by aye. Aye. Opposes? Carries 5-0. Item number 2, amendment to policy number 6330, contracting, architectural, and other professional services purpose.
I make a motion that we accept the amendment to policy 6330.
I second it.
All right, it's been moved by Mrs. Jane Crawford, second by Mr. David Buckles.
Can I have a little discussion for just a second? I will say that I was contacted by a representative of a contractor's office, which is not uncommon, but they worked for us over the years ago, and I let the superintendent know. But if you know contractors or any contractors are listening about any potential construction we have, I would rather you go through the food chain of talking with Mr. Bowling and Mr. Chastain and call me as a board member. So I just wanted to get that on the public record.
Okay, all righty. And so now, with that being said, surely they will take note and govern themselves accordingly. All in favor, let it be known by aye.
Aye.
Oppose the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. At this time, we move into our public comments. We just want to remind those, we have 2 for public comments, that once you make it to the podium, if you will state your name and your address, and at that time, you will be given 3 minutes to share whatever it is that you would like to bring before us, which we're always willing to listen to go on. All right, the first one we have is Mrs. Carolyn Brantley from Melrose, and she has come to comment on the subject of Special Olympics.
Be proud of her.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Sam says yes. All right, you got approval from Sam, so you go ahead.
My name is Carolyn Brantley. I'm the director for Putnam County Special Olympics. My address is 886 North County Road 315, Melrose, Florida. And I have a video that I would like to show to start with.
Imagine a generation.
A generation that sees us
as equal.
Imagine a generation of respect.
Of acceptance.
Of diversity.
Of pride. Of inclusion.
Of courage.
Of strength on the field and off the field.
Of friendship. Of unity.
A generation that leads.
Together.
A generation that learns.
Together.
A generation that plays.
Together.
A generation of
Game changers.
This is our generation.
The benefits of Special Olympics: it increases the social interaction between students and helps with social skills.
Excuse me.
It increases school spirit. It improves physical fitness, sports skills, and helps with coordination skills that carry over. It improves self-esteem, self-confidence, and competitiveness. It can participate in sports with peers and receive recognition. Creativity and openness are shared between students and teachers alike. It helps learning discipline skills. It helps with learning perseverance. It helps transfer the competitive skills. It helps with learning to function as a team. We have community-based programs to which athletes can advance to area and state games, national games, and world games. We have Young Athlete Program, which we have in most of the elementary schools in Putnam County right now. Pre-K ESE classes, first grades. They're through age 7. We have a program called Little Elites, which is 1st through 5th grades. We have school-based programs where they can compete within the schools. We do competition in the schools. The teachers can also be considered a community base if they want to go on and advance farther by getting medicals. And then the athletes from the schools can compete in area and national and world games. We took a team from Volusia County last year to national games in Seattle, Washington. We took one from Clay County to national games in Seattle, Washington. We have athletes going to world games in Ojibwa in March. We have Putnam County graduate going. So if you want any more information, I can give you an information.
Well, thank you for what you said.
And I was just telling Mrs. Brantley, I'm a card-carrying member, and so I support as well as some others, and so you can definitely support. It goes to Claremont, but she said that Claremont is very generous with Putnam County and gives us over what we...
How do you become a member?
How do we become a member?
Mrs. Brantley, you got some that want to know how can they become members?
There's a card in there, you can contact me, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Thank you again. Sam, thank you for helping Mom out. Okay. Our second comment, will be from Mr. Jay Shutt. Did I pronounce it correctly? All right, and he has a concern about Darwin's evolution being taught as a fact in our in our high school biology book. If you will state your name and your address, and then you can share with us.
Okay. Name is Jay Shutt, 1488 State Road 20, Interlochen. I've lived in Interlochen for a year. I moved from Nassau County, had at one time 6 grandkids in Nassau County. I'm a retired teacher, 40 years experience. I gave you more than you asked for, but.
That's okay. That's fine.
Dr. Raymond Damadian, inventor of the MRI, said this about Darwinian evolution, quote, "It's a fairy tale." Professor Louis Bunior, former director of research at the French National Center of Scientific Research, said in 1984, quote, "Evolutionism is a fairy tale for grown-ups. This theory has helped nothing in the progress of science. It is useless." Dr. James Tour at Rice University was named Scientist of the Year in 2013. He has challenged Darwinian evolutionists to describe the mechanisms that can explain the genetic changes necessary to change a dinosaur to a bird, a walrus to a whale, an ape to a human. They can't. Spike Psaris used to work for the Army Space Program. He collected and analyzed data from the Hubble telescope and space probes. He has YouTube videos presenting this data, which is being hidden from the public, indicating the universe is young, in line with the Bible timeline. Did you know that the full title of Darwin's Origin of the Species includes the words, "or the preservation of favored races in the struggle for life"? Darwin believed that certain races were polluting the gene pool. Adolf Hitler loved this book. Did you know that there is a significant difference in the worldview developed by a student who believes that they were evolved from an ape, as opposed to the worldview of a student who believes that he or she was created in the image and likeness of God? Did you know our high school biology book in Putnam County teaches Darwinian evolution as proven true by science? If you don't believe it, just ask students who've taken the course. Virtually all biology textbooks in public schools and colleges across this country teach the same thing. The chapter on evolution begins by teaching microevolution, which is like selective breeding. That's scientific. Then they introduce Darwinian evolution, which is macroevolution, as a natural progression. Darwinian evolution is not true. It is a fairy tale for grown-ups who reject the idea of a creator God. Did you know that school boards across this country have been hit with lawsuits or threatened with lawsuits when they try to do something significant about textbooks teaching our young people they came from apes? Did you know truth is being held hostage in this country by people in very powerful positions in education, in the courts, and in the media? This board, after it investigates and finds these statements to be true, has a decision to make. Most boards decide to do nothing because the legal forces standing against doing something are staggering. But could we not at least let parents know that their child is being instructed in some science classes that they evolved from apes, and if they do not want their child exposed to this instruction, they could have their child excused to go to the library or gym?
Okay.
And
All right. Do you have something to hand out?
yes,
Okay.
I
Alrighty.
spoke to some legislators, Florida legislators in December, and I included this information, and I also included information from a book entitled Crimes of the Educators: How Utopians Are Using Government Schools to Destroy America's Children. We are having difficulty in the areas of discipline and of achievement in our schools in America, not by accident. It is orchestrated. And according to this book, it began in the early 1900s, and it is shocking.
All right, thank you.
You worked quite a few years, you said, in Nassau County.
No, I did not work in Nassau County as a school teacher. I taught in Michigan, and I taught in North Carolina. And
Most
then
of your schools have Darwinian evolution in their books, they didn't? Well, you know,
What did you teach?
Mainly fifth grade, but I've taught just about every
I
grade.
know in high school, I was taught about Darwinian evolution and creationism and the whole 9 yards, and I feel like I was led to believe that you make your own opinions, and Darwin didn't have all the answers, certainly. So the state has an adopted list. We take what they give us, and we can't deviate unless we get some kind of special permission. But I think it's well noted that not all things that have been taught in the past are true, like, Columbus and, who came to America first and those type of things. But anyway, I appreciate you coming and sharing your concerns with us. That was very nice.
I don't think he's concerned necessarily about the book itself, but he says it's being taught as fact, as not like you and I were taught back in the day.
The
I've never
teachers
heard
I've
that
seen
from
do
any
that,
student.
they show a pretty
And I was at
balanced
Palatka High
view of
School
it.
for 37 years.
When I went out there and substituted a while, I saw pretty well balanced
Yeah, me
teaching
too.
of both sides. But there's a lady there has a hand up.
Am I allowed to say, I was taught as fact, but I went to Bowles High School, and they taught it as fact.
Well, Bowles is a pretty
Bowles is a
pretty
whole lot
healthy
different
private
than
school.
Putnam County.
But when you talk to people like friends that went to the public schools, they will say it was a fact too.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
Anybody was having a choice, or, oh, this could be a possibility. For my generation, everybody was told that was a fact, that's it.
Okay.
Mark,
All right.
you're in the
All
science
right.
department at Palatka High School. Have you?
I can say that, I'm not a biology teacher, but my understanding of the way we express these things, that I don't believe there's anyone in our department or any education that, not to my knowledge, that teaches that we would be simple for babes.
Right.
So that's not even a part of Darwin's theory of evolution. And it is always a theory of evolution. We talk about the difference between scientific theory, scientific law. We talk about how the
It's a-
So, I don't have any first-hand knowledge of that. My son took biology. I go and ask him, what he's.
Yeah, I'm going to ask Sloan.
The origin of species is just that, it's a theory. I mean, I never saw it as a, JT, principal
Our
player.
biology standards do not mention Darwinism in any of the biology standards.
That's what I
Okay.
thought.
Okay,
It does
but,
talk about evolution and theories of, and gene mutation and gene drift, but it does not say Darwinism.
okay, and you may have, there may be a teacher that is sold on it and teaching it as fact. That would be up to the principal to find out, and I'm sure the superintendent will check on that.
Well, I mean, I was given the biology book to read. I read the biology book. It was basically the same thing that I was taught in 1963 at the University of Michigan. It's the same as what's going on in Michigan public schools. It's the same as what is going on in North Carolina public schools. It's being taught as fact.
All right.
Well, just because it's
All
in
right.
the book doesn't mean it's being taught.
True.
Well, if you
Okay.
but
All
his
right.
point is, if you present the book, it's basically.
Okay, and
like
what
your
we'll do,
friend.
and again, Mr. Schultz, thank you
Thanks
for
for
your
coming.
concern.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And,
Look forward to
and,
looking at
You
this.
see more
Yes.
stuff, let us know.
okay, would you pass that to her? Okay, at this time, we have no other requests for public comment. We will move into our consent agenda. We will start with, we'll start with Mrs. Crawford,
I have nothing to pull.
okay? Mr. McInnes,
Me either, have nothing to pull.
Mr. Buckles,
I feel very comfortable with the agenda.
and Mrs. Pickens.
I would like to pull H4.
We're pulling H4.
The reason that I want to pull H4.
Just, all right, just hold on a second, because we have another one. Just H4 is all you want to pull? And I would like to pull item G2. So that's H4 and G2. And we'll take G2 last. So Mrs. Holly, if you will go ahead with H4.
Okay,
We got to,
You go ahead and approve.
Oh, okay, yes. I'm sorry, I'm racing to get to what we, yes.
All right, what's your question?
Okay, so we need to make a motion to. Okay, I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda with the exception of H4 and G2.
Okay.
I second.
All right, it's been moved by Mrs. Jane Crawford, second by Mrs. Holly Pickens, that we accept the consent agenda with the exception of H4 and G2. At this time, Mrs. Pickens, H4.
Okay, the letter in
Go ahead and
H4.
vote on the consent agenda.
Oh, we didn't vote. Here I go
And then-
again.
then we'll
I
go-
apologize. Thank you. Thank
Doing
you.
great.
All right, all in favor? Let it, all right.
Aye.
Let it be number aye. Aye. All right. Any nays?
Unanimous.
All right, 5-0. Thank you. Now we can go. All
Okay.
right.
I'm
in a hurry.
The original letter in H4 says that the lodging accommodations will be provided by the FHSAA, which sounded to me like the FHSAA was going to pay for it. So they, Ms. Perry at Crescent City High School sent a revised letter that says that the lodging and accommodations will be provided by the athletic internal account, which is what it should say. So the problem is fixed, but.
Okay. And you just want that noted in the.
And Ms. Cormany has a copy.
Okay.
As long as she's
All
got a
right.
copy.
And I think we talked, Board Attorney said as long as we had that copy and then it's in our minutes, that we
So that you know what you're voting on, that
Yes.
it is paid for by the school.
Thank you
Okay.
for bringing that to our
All right.
attention.
A motion?
I make a motion, we approve it.
I second. We're not going to wait on G2? We do it separately?
I would think we
Let's
should
do it
separate.
separately. Yes, we're going to do it separately.
H4.
H4, I make a motion, we approve H4.
I second that.
All right, it's been properly moved by Mr. Buckles that we accept H4, moved and second by Mrs. Crawford for H4. All in favor, let it be known by aye. Aye. Opposes? Motion carries 5-0. All right, G2 was pulled at a request from the father, Mr. Campbell, at this time, and he will be given 10 minutes to address the board. Yes, sir. If you will state your name and give us your address.
My name is Tony Campbell, 215 Citra Drive, Palaca, Florida. And I'm here regarding the problem at the Palaca High School and the school.
Could you speak into the microphone?
Yes, sir, just so, because they want to hear you in the back. If you can pull it close to you, the microphone.
You put this jacket on, because this jacket means a lot to me.
All right, let
I
me-
did 20-some years in the military.
Let me ask one question. Mr. Douglas, this will be televised, and if a child's name is brought up,
I ain't gonna bring nobody's name up, sir.
Okay.
You supposed to be impartial.
All
The
right.
last meeting we had, you wasn't impartial.
all right,
Okay?
thank you.
Yes.
Okay, this jacket means a lot to me. I would not disrespect this jacket. I did over 20 years in the military. I fought for my country in the military. I fought in the military for some of y'all can sit up here and do your job. Some of y'all don't do your job. You not doing your job. The guy on the end not doing his job. The guy in the right there in the blue shirt is not doing his job.
Mr. Campbell,
Yes.
I want to ask you personally.
Go ahead.
If you would just address us and not personally attack
Okay.
the others. And
When I take the jacket off, then we gonna really get into it. But I ain't gonna disrespect this
Okay.
jacket right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'm gonna take the jacket off, cause the military meant a loss to me. I seen stuff some of y'all never want to see in the military.
And we thank you for serving.
But Jake, like I said, I came here. I think it was January the 8th, and we had a meeting regarding my son. He got kicked out, expelled from school, expulsion from school 2 years. If they could have, they would have kicked him out of college, but they didn't know what college he was going to. But right now, he's back in school. He continued his education. My thing is, when you kick a kid out of school, what do you do for the kid when you kick him out of school? What you have set up for a kid? I came in here, they kicked out one girl. She got expelled for a year for cutting off somebody's hair in school. It wasn't no real hair. I understand the consequences, but what? This girl was in the 5th grade. My son in the back there. My son in the back there. If I want to call his name, I can call his name. That's my son. I think me and you had a conversation a long time ago, and you was pretty good when you was at, that school over there, not that school over there.
Beasley.
Beasley.
Yes, sir.
CeeLo now.
They put my son in jail when he was in the 2nd grade, the Palaca school system. They put handcuffs on my son. I moved my kid out of Putnam County and took him to St. John County. And they stayed over with my aunt until I finished my military career. And I came back here. I don't know how y'all gonna be proud of this county. We got 67 counties in Florida, and we are ranked number 64, I think. We at the bottom of the list. Our neighbor next door, St. John County, is number 4, top of the list. They got the whole list right here. This is ridiculous. We at the bottom. We always been at the bottom. Why? Because some people don't care about our kids. One day, I'm going to be sitting up here, and I'm going to be doing something completely different. Don't be surprised if y'all see me when y'all run for a re-election that I be right in this audience out here, and I'm going to be speaking to y'all about these questions, why y'all treating our kids like garbage. I fear no man. Can anybody see in here can say, I'm ready to die today? I'm not scared of no man. But I'm tired of these grown people lying on these kids. And that pissed me off. Now, this man on this board up here, he said, this teacher, we ain't gonna call no name. I know this teacher, she wouldn't do this. But this teacher made a comment during summer school, called these kids MF. And I'm tired of these MF. But that's a good teacher. We got some teachers who do not care about these kids. I care about these kids. I'm a single father. I do anything for any kid in this county, any county. And this got me heated. I'd rather be overseas fighting in this war again than dealing with this right here. That's how I feel, sir. Ain't no man scared me.
I'm not trying to scare you.
This is my time to talk, sir. This is my time to talk. I got 10 minutes. You can talk after the 10 minutes.
Well, he's already said a few
Yeah.
things.
Hey, give me that. You gonna give me some more minutes here?
I'll tell you when he's
Okay, but this is pissed me off when you got these grown people. We got these grown people. Hey, sir, I'm talking now. I got 10 minutes, sir. I'm talking.
Let me handle
Hey, you're pissing me off.
Mr. Campbell, let's refrain from that. You're very upset, and I understand that part. But if you can just refrain from using that expression.
What expression?
Pee off.
Piss off?
Yes, sir.
Well, I want you more than that. I'm holding back.
All right.
I'm holding back.
Yes, sir.
PTSD might kick in. I'm doing great, ma'am. I'm telling you.
Me too.
I'm doing great. If that pissing y'all off, I'm say it again. I better not say it again.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
But this get me heated.
Yes, sir.
About we got these grown people lying on kids, teachers lying. I came in and talked to these people on January the 8th, I think, about and pointed out all the different things why these teachers lied on these kids, on my son. My son made a comment. I'm gonna let my mom deal with this problem. They took that as a threat and added what they wanted on there. When I went on here January 8th, these people on this board had their mind made up what they were gonna do to my son. They already had their mind made up. This is bad where you cannot come in and get justice. I pointed out to the superintendent a month or two ago about something that happened at the school. They showed me a video of what my son did. I ain't got no problem with that. A picture is 1,000 word. A video should be about a couple million. The video they gave me a copy of, it was the same video, but it was so far, it might have been from here to the jail. I asked the school board, can you give me a copy of that video you showed me at the school? They say they couldn't. Why are you trying to hide something? Why you can't give me the same video you showed me at the school? I tell you what, I'm gonna fight it, I'm gonna fight it. Don't be surprised. The Department of Education will hear about it, everybody hear about it. This is crazy how we doing the kids here. It's a reason we at the bottom. All we care about is getting fat, sitting at the bottom, sitting up here and getting a paycheck. That pissed me off. Well, we supposed to be helping these kids. I'm sorry, I say it again. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Here's
Sorry,
3 minutes up.
Now,
No,
10 minutes
he has
up?
10.
I ain't heard nothing go off yet.
No, sir, it's not.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. If I'm too loud, I'm sorry. But the military messed my ears up. I know some of y'all don't want to hear this. Face the truth. We must be here for the kids. Some of y'all don't want to hear it. Playing with your nose, water, everything. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to be here. I worked 2 jobs, retired from 2 jobs. Give my kids more than what I had. And we sat right here and all we think about a fat check. My son got a disability. Yes, sir, that's what I said. Fat check, fat pocket. My son back there got a disability. You know what the principal told me? If I couldn't come during school hours, ain't no teacher gonna stay after school hours to talk to me about my son problem. If you really care about a kid, you'll spend 15, 20 more minutes and say, Mr. Kim, I want to help your kid. I'm here for your kid. But they said, nah, it's in the contract. They can't stay. If I'm a teacher, if I really care about that kid, I'll give that kid an hour, 2 hours. You got to care about the kids. If the kids see you care about them, they would do better, some of them. Now, you kick the kids out of school, what they going to do? Rob, steal, sell drugs. Not my kids. You can kick them out. But one day, my son going to be up there. One day, my son might be the president. Might not be the president of the United States, but he'll be a president somewhere. This is crazy how we doing this right here. I'll fight for any kid if I know they doing wrong. If I dislike anybody in this room, if I know you doing the right thing, I'm on your side. That officer back there know I respect him. Every time I go to that school, I haven't disrespected him. But that school has disrespected me so much that I feel this way. I'm so tired of this. There's so much hate in this room. We got to get along. We got to be one. If we want to move to the top of the list, we got to be a team. I was a team over 20-some years in the military. The military means something to me. I never disrespect the military. And we sit right here and talk about, oh, we care about the kids. We don't care about no kids. Some of us don't care about. I can't say all y'all don't care, but some of y'all don't care. Some of them teachers don't care. We got bad teachers. We got good teachers. We got bad policemen. We got good policemen. You got bad people in every field you go into. You got good people. That pissed me off where I came in to try to came in with a calm. Anybody who sat in that meeting on January the 8th, they knew I was calm. I didn't even raise my voice. Was you there, ma'am? I forgot who was there. The attorney was there when you were there. I was nice and calm. You ain't gonna say nothing because you getting paid. I was nice and calm. But I said, no, it's calm don't work.
Well, you keep cursing in front of these women, disrespect.
Piss off!
10 minutes has got to be.
No, he just went off. Man, put your hearing aid in.
Okay.
Just went off.
All right, Mr. Campbell.
Is it not 10 minutes yet?
It just went off.
The attorney needs to say something.
It just went
I'd
off.
like to
I
say
would
something too.
advise the board that there is a federal statute that is called FERPA, the Federal Educational Rights and Privacy Act, that prevents us from speaking about any type of particular matters regarding a student in public.
Yes,
So I would ask the board not to discuss this matter.
yes, sir.
All of the policies and procedures of this district were followed in the due process rights of the student and the guardian, and it is appropriately before the board at this time for decision.
Okay, why did I come then? They told me to come to discuss this then. Why did I come? They told me to come here to discuss my concerns.
You have a right to share your side, and we have allowed that according to the policies
Yes.
and procedures, and
Yeah, that's the young man.
that discussion and
Because he know how y'all doing. This is bull, man.
We can't have
so
him.
that has been provided.
BS.
Thank you, sir.
Make it stand for anything you want to stand for BS.
By the way, if anyone else on this board wants to serve on the expulsion committee instead of
No,
me,
thank you.
you're welcome to do it.
No, thank you.
Okay.
Ma'am, the ones who sat here and listened to me, thank you. But if we're going to be a better school district, we got to get more involved. This is ridiculous.
I would like to couch one thing.
Well, I just want to say something.
Can I do it first?
I'd rather we didn't.
Well, I feel like something needs a little clarification, and I understand the FERPA violation.
The attorney
have given
has
my
clarified and given his advice. And so with that, we're going to let that be. Mr. Cameron, we want to thank you, sir.
And I'm gonna make this comment just like my son said. My son told the teacher, I'm gonna let my mom handle this. I'm gonna let the Department of Education and my lawyer handle this.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Let's go, guys.
Okay.
Let's go.
Who's about to? Me, you?
Okay. I'm going to call for a recess, a 5-minute recess. This meeting will reconvene. Okay, we now need a motion for G2. Oh, the superintendent isn't back. I apologize.
He doesn't have to be here. You got the associate superintendent in the room,
Okay.
Thomas.
It was G2.
Maybe what'd I do in the stuff?
Since I serve on the expulsion committee, I'll let someone else make the motion.
Okay, we're waiting for a motion for G2.
Well, I've lost my agenda.
I'll make a motion that we accept
Committee
the committee recommendation on G2.
I second that. Go ahead.
I'll second it.
All right, it's been properly moved by Mrs. Pickens and second by Mr. McInnes. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay. At this time, we have nothing for the emergency session, no unfinished business. Now we have discussion, new business. Item number 1, N1, consensus to advertise new policies, number 2371 and number 8805 per Neola update 19-1.
Adam, we just need a consensus to advertise.
Yes.
Roll call.
District 1,
Advertise.
District 2,
Advertise.
District 3,
Advertise.
District 4, District 5.
Advertise.
Okay. All right. Item number 2 has quite a few listed. Policy number 0165.3.
Read them all.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that'll work. Policy number 1140.
It was 11440.
440.
44?
Yes, ma'am.
Ooh, mine only has 140.
And it's gonna be a little finer than yours.
Okay, because I copied it out off the agenda. Okay,
Okay, so there is only 14.
okay.
It is 14.
1-4.
Okay, yours is
Yeah,
right
I
then.
printed the one out of the, yes.
Scrivener's error.
Okay. All right, so it is, all right, we'll repeat it. Policy number 1140, policy number 1590, policy number 2623, policy number 3140, policy number 3590, policy number 4162, policy number 4590, policy number 5112, policy number 5113, policy number 5200, policy number 5460, policy number 5780, policy number 6233, policy number 6320, policy number 6322, policy number 6325, policy number 6610, policy number 8141, and 7310 has already been advertised and passed. So that's why we skipped that one. So we don't need 7310. Policy number 8462, policy number 8500, policy number 8810, and policy number 9800.
Did you miss 8420, or was that just me?
She missed it.
Maybe I missed it.
84,
Can you also say policy number 8420?
okay, and that is not on my list. So policy number 8420.
For Neola.
District 1,
Advertise.
District 2,
Advertise.
District 3,
Advertise.
District 4,
Advertise.
District 5.
Advertise.
All right, that's it.
All right. Item number 3, under new business, discussion and input regarding honoring employees with 20-plus years of service to the Putnam County School District. And this was the way that we, as a board, could talk about it and not be in violation of the sunshine. I'll go ahead and start. I know that Mrs. Whitehurst's office had been very, very busy getting ready for the Teacher of the Year and School-Related Employee of the Year, because they've been trying to get us a list, and we need to kind of talk about how we want to do it. I know in our discussion when we first brought it up, we did mention that we'd like to do it on a planning day. That way, you know, if a school had 3 or 4 people, they would not be pulled away from their responsibilities, and we thought of something like a breakfast. So the floor is now open for us to kind of talk about.
We're talking 20 years in Putnam County.
In Putnam County, staying right here. They've not been anywhere else. They've been with Putnam County from the time they were employed. Well, from the time they got here, they've been here 20 years serving our students, our schools.
They could have been somewhere else, but they've been the last 20-plus years.
And the last 20-plus years. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
If there's some monetary value to that, it'd have to be discussed in collective bargaining.
Well, we were thinking more of, when we talked about it initially.
Getting
just
sponsors
honoring
for
them,
breakfast.
Doing a breakfast, maybe asking First Baptist if they do like we do for Putnam.
For the football players.
For Palatka High School.
Oh, okay.
On their planning days. We just want to do something to recognize how special they are to us for having spent at least that many years.
Just saying thank you.
So just to let you know why it's taken so long.
That's okay.
So we'll
Yes, ma'am.
use an example of there is a teacher at Interlaken Elementary School that started out as a paraprofessional and now is a teacher. Skyward does not recognize the difference. So the Skyward keeps those years of experience separate. It doesn't combine them. So we're having to pretty much,
Yes, ma'am.
like I've sent something out to all the secretaries and they're trying to get us those lists and we're trying to verify. And NEFAC is even working with us to try to figure out, because we don't want to miss anyone.
Right, yes,
But
God
we're
forbid.
already at probably 275 to 300
Awesome.
employees
Yes.
that have, and that's
Maybe we
not, we haven't even really, there's several administrators that are left off because, again, it doesn't combine all of those years of experience once the job level changes.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're having to do a lot of background on it.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea, but we're already at, I wanted to let you know as you're thinking about what you're gonna
Yes,
do.
ma'am.
Yeah, where we're gonna
You're
have
not
it
talking
and-
about just like 50 people.
Yeah,
Right,
see, that's
right.
what I was thinking.
I'm
just to-
laughing at that man right
just
there.
to let you know.
I'm thinking Palatka High Commons.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it will
So
be.
we would have to find
and it may have to be something that you do in each end of the county because of the number of people. I don't know, just.
Okay.
But I wanted to let you know what we're doing, and I have 2 or 3 that's really working on it and
Yes,
trying to,
ma'am.
because we don't want to leave anyone out, but you are looking at a large number of people, and this is strictly Putnam County School District experience
Yes,
that we're
ma'am.
trying to get.
And the only-
May I ask you?
Go ahead, go ahead.
May I ask you this? Does it, just with you, based on what you've seen, does it look like we will be able to pull this off this school term?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, within the next.
Because I was going to
couple
say, if
weeks,
not, we can
hopefully
do
we
it the
can have it.
opening of school during their
And
pre-plan.
I'm going to talk to the secretaries again on Friday. We have a secretaries meeting just to make sure if any of them have not gotten me that list. But again, they're trying to just talk to their people. And sometimes
to
it's just like, you know what, yes, I've been here, but it's not showing on our system that way. And so we're having to go back and pull some yellow cards and some personnel folders, and
Yes, ma'am.
we're really having to dig.
And thank you.
Yeah, we still have yellow cards.
Thank you.
We still
Thank
do
you
yellow
all
cards,
so much.
yes, ma'am.
So
Is this
much.
common, Tanya, is this common to a lot of districts? I mean, do you go 10-year, 15-year, 20, 25? I've never done it before.
I can find out from my group of people, you know, how they honor.
I know that when I put in 20 years, I'd have probably rather not gone to a breakfast. I'd probably rather been at school getting everything ready to go, but.
Well, I will say that I have had.
No, that's why we said we wanted to do it during a planning.
So I will say that we are trying to make sure that people know that it is the board who is asking, because they're trying to figure out how they can recognize, because some people are thinking we're trying to figure out who's like, I mean, they're just like, you know, it's created some paranoia amongst some people, but then
just
there's
want to say
other
thank
people
you.
that are afraid they've been left
Yes, ma'am.
out. So yeah, we want to make sure that we're really covering
all we
everybody,
want to
and that
say is thank
it's
you.
a positive message
Yes, ma'am.
that's
Yes,
happening.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
we do have a, I don't know when you want her to report back to you, but we do have a special board meeting on the 15th, and then we have our regular board meeting on the 19th. So if
I can do the
19th.
If you wanna-
Let's give her as much time
Okay.
as possible.
So the 19th, okay to have a
Thank you
report back?
so much.
So the
Thank you so
important
much.
part too is going to be, since we don't have a little kitty with some money in it
Mm-hmm.
that we can use, finding how we can,
The various churches, civic organizations.
or, you know, somebody donating money toward it, or, to pay for whatever it is, what, you know, if we want to give them a 20-year pen, or feed them, or, they'd
Okay.
probably rather have food than a pen, but,
But I like the
I
idea.
would.
I like the idea of just the breakfast, thanking them, and, you know, some kind of certificate, poem, something, just something to say thank you,
Even at our.
to show that we
employee-
appreciate.
Even at our Employee of the Year ceremonies, or at the kids' academic award ceremonies, there are kids in the outlying and adults in the outlying areas that don't make events in Palatka. So I think what Tanya said was.
I heard
wise.
that, and that's a great suggestion. I heard that, yes,
the
ma'am.
3 areas that,
Space too for that many people.
Yes, ma'am.
By the region,
I think it's a great idea.
Maybe the Rotary clubs in
Yes,
those in
ma'am.
that west end
I
and
like
south
that.
end could host
Thank
lunch,
you.
breakfast and do something that,
Okay.
just a little extra that.
So are we gonna, have we decided what we're going to
Feed 'em
give?
eggs, toast.
I had an administrator one time that gave us a pen with the number of years. And, you know, I think it's in my jewelry box, but that moment, I felt very,
Yeah.
very much
Appreciated.
appreciated.
Yes.
So I think what we're striving is just to say, you know, thank you for, you
Yes.
know, 20 years is pretty good. I'm impressed that there's that many people. That, to me, is good. Yeah.
I had no idea there were that many.
We're the
And this-
largest employer.
Yeah.
But I
No,
would
but we're
volunteer-
saying not bounce into different, you know, surrounding counties, but they've stayed right
They
here.
lasted at least 20 years.
Right. I would volunteer
They
to try to get some
persevered.
support or funding or sponsorship in the
And
South End.
I will start tomorrow. I have somebody I'm gonna
Well, you know
approach.
anybody you can talk to in the West End?
Try.
Well, I'll help you if you'll.
Cindy Shaw and the Rotary Club out there would probably be about as good as any. I mean,
And my friend Mary
Rich.
Rich. Yes,
she's in the Rotary
yes,
as well.
because we definitely want to do it. I mean,
We don't know anybody.
okay, so what I'm hearing is, all right, love that suggestion, the varying ends of the county. We're definitely going to look at a planning day wherein we will not be pulling them away from their, right, that's what I'm saying, their responsibilities. And I'm hearing Holly is going to approach some people on the south end. I'm going to certainly start tomorrow talking to some people, and Ms. McInnes, along with Mrs. Crawford, the two of them will.
The only problem with, and I'm sure we can work around this, is if we have 3 different places, we're not gonna all be able to go to each one.
I wanted to ask Rhonda, looking at the step
And I'd like to
increases,
be
where do
there.
people max out anymore? At step
like to be
increases,
all of
where do our employees max out?
Instructional is 22 years.
I mean, to me, if you're gonna do anything, we ought to talk in collective bargaining about doing something like that. But if y'all guys wanna have 3 breakfasts, I'll try to get there, that's fine. I mean, a pen's nice, I guess. A flower. Don't punch me.
Go ahead,
I'm not as touchy-feely, I guess, I don't know.
Okay?
but you'll eat a
Money talks.
breakfast.
Money talks and eggs walk.
All right. Thank you again. Mrs. Whitehurst, and thank you to those of you. Yeah.
Just tell me what you want me to do.
Okay. And David, you're gonna speak.
I'll speak, I don't care, I'm great.
Since you-
I think I'm great, I'm not great, I'm a
Okay.
grandpa.
All right. As ideas come to you, just jot them down, and so that at the 19th meeting, we'll be able to kind of pull it together and go from there. All right, at this time, okay. Yeah. The reports, we will have a report from our board members, then the board attorney, and then the superintendent. We're going to start with you, Mrs. Pickens.
Okay, it's been a long time since we've had a board meeting. I went to the Superintendent's Advisory Committee at the South End, and I thought it was extremely productive. Our students at the high school came up with some really great ideas to help the transition for the middle school kids and introduce them to different programs. I thought it was extremely well received. Also, I just wanted to say thank you to Tanya Whitehurst and her staff for doing such a great job at the Teacher of the Year and Support Associate.
my
It
list.
was really nice. It was a very nice event. And congratulations to Tanya Miles and Lisa Davis. Thank you for everything that they do for our students. And I also had an opportunity to visit CELO, and I really, honestly, besides a play and the gym, I'd really never been in the school. And Mr. Tucker took me around. We saw different classes. He spent time talking to me about discipline, and it was a really productive meeting. So I feel like I'm getting more prepared and ready to do things that I need to do. So.
Thank you. Mr. Buckles?
Just a few things. It's a sign of the times, but a while ago, what we're not supposed to talk about, I'm not going to talk much about. I'll just talk in generalities. I'm glad to see armed law enforcement here because you never know when someone might be disgruntled and come before this board and pull a handgun and shoot people, and we've seen it done in other counties, so it's a good reason for you ladies and all of us to get certified and do our own concealed carry. I know you have. I've been sitting in some of the expulsion hearings, and I've been very pleased to see how hard our principals and teachers are bending over backwards to keep from having to apply heavier sanctions to students who have caused problems. But I'll tell you, folks, we're it's rough out there, and all of you have seen it because most of you have worked in the schools. Mr. Hedstrom and I have talked briefly about the workshop we're going to try to hold, and I see Randy's stepped out right now, but expulsions are a necessary evil. There are times when a child will not allow a teacher to be able to teach and impart knowledge to the great majority of students in a class. And no matter how loving and caring their parent is, sometimes the child just doesn't care. And it's a shame. The 2 years is the maximum we can give under Florida law, school law, and it certainly isn't what you would like, but there are a lot of variables that enter into that. And I have noticed that there's a lot of, because of where we are with video monitors now, there's a lot of emphasis on the tape and recordings of the video and what went on. The video helps in most instances, and it helped clear a student in one incident, but it is not something that has to happen. When a teacher or an employee says, this child did this to me and I saw this happen, it happened as far as we are concerned. And I've noticed that some of the parents want more video, want close-ups, and want things that you can't provide. And it's just part of what we're going to have to deal with when we meet on the discipline policy. I mean, you can get $1 million in video cameras and still you're going to have people not happy about the quality of the video and where it goes, but I find most of our schools, they appear to me to be in good order and in good hands, and it's the same 3% that cause 99% of the problems. And we'll be looking at a variety of things, and most of it will have to be symbolic because society has decided that you can no longer swing the paddle in an appropriate fashion as what was called appropriate years ago. And even when I did it, I was telling Rick that I'd have parents give me permission to paddle students and then call Division of Children and Families before you could put the paddle down, just to create problems. So, I mean, that's not the norm, but it is a reality of what you guys deal with out there, you teachers and principals, and I hurt for you. And the parents, I hate it for them the worst, because there's nothing like a parent that loves their child and would do anything for them, and their child gets up and doesn't act like they care. And it hurts the heart when you see that, because it just happens. But I look forward to this workshop. I don't know that we're going to make things magic, but it'll certainly create awareness. And I know Randy and the superintendent have been working to gather information from other districts and to see, so we don't reinvent the wheel, what we can do and what we can do in Putnam County. But other than that, I'm quite pleased. I did receive a phone call from the Palatka Daily News earlier before the board meeting. I let the superintendent know that they're doing a 10-year update on Haley Cummings' disappearance, which is so pitiful. And they wanted to know, was my wife the principal at Browning Pierce then? And I believe she was, so I called her and told her that they would be calling her. But anyway, I mean, my heart still goes out, and all of you do.
Channel 4 covered
I've been with you, Sandy, looking for murdered children. We know what it's like. It's a horrible thing. But with that, on a more positive note, I look forward to a great end of the year and softball, baseball season, and all that is good. So I'll pass it on.
Mr. McInnes?
Okay. I'll echo what Holly said about the staff putting on the Teacher of the Year ceremony. It was really good, my first one, and congratulations to Tanya Miles and Lisa Davis. Tanya Miles was one of I interned with her at Jenkins, and I thought when they announced that she worked at all 3 levels, I whispered to Sandy that
he told me
yes,
exactly who it was.
Tanya was the winner. Real happy about that, and it was nice connecting back with her. I enjoyed a lot of the activities during Literacy Week and all the schools. It was just fun watching on social media some of the things they do, and some of the things that are involving the community. I know Rick was reading, and a lot of people were reading, and young people get such a joy out of that, and makes a memory for a lifetime. One thing I remember about Literacy Week, being in elementary school in Clay County, was you got to wear your pajamas. That was probably the most relaxing day I've ever experienced in a school. But and there's pictures, so it's fun. I did attend Melrose Terrific Kids, and a big thank you goes to the Lake Region Kiwanis who support that. They do it also for Aquila. I met the people there, and I did catch on Facebook Wonderful Wednesday with Middleton Burney Elementary. They have a live telecast of the morning announcements, and I just caught it offhand. It just came up, and I thought that was very unique, and it was good. Lets people know. It got a lot of comments. I also attended the pulled pork fundraiser for the Safety Patrol at Melrose, and same week of Literacy Week, and Interlochen Elementary had bingo for books. And it was packed. It was just packed. Very good turnout. Tonight, I was checking today if this is really going to happen. The Arts Council is having a display of the high school students' photography. The gallery is going to be today at 5:30, and it's going to go through the 11th, and it's free, and it gives these young people a chance to show their talents. And I'm going to try to go to that. We still got some time to get over there for the opening. And I do want to shout out Malia Brown. We were talking about this before. She's a sophomore at IHS, And last night she scored her 1,000th career point. If they win tonight, they're playing, the Lady Rams are playing top seeded Bradford, and they win tonight, they'll be in the finals, and it'll be the first time that they've ever been in, considered for playoffs in 33 years. So I want to thank the team and the coach, Kim Triano, who is also the support, or the Teacher of the Year Award, or the Support Staff of the Year Award at Interlochen High. It was just good to see that, so I wish them well.
Another student that has come back to work in our
Yes.
system.
Yeah.
Growing our own.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, Mrs. Crawford?
Well, one thing, and I've talked to Rick about it, I've tried to keep up with the goings on in Tallahassee, and, you know, what the legislature's doing, and how those things are going to affect us in Putnam County, and some of the things that the new governor is doing, and, you know, find it all very interesting. I know a delegation from the school board will be going up for Legislature Day soon, so I'll be looking forward to hearing what y'all have to say, because I'm not going to be able to go. Let's see, I have really enjoyed watching the Black Panthers play basketball. Girls and boys, they're having a great year, and I'm really looking forward to softball this year. I want to congratulate Tanya Miles. I don't know Tanya, but I've heard so many wonderful things about her from our superintendent, from other teachers who have worked with her, now from my friend Bud, and I'm just thrilled for it. And then my buddy Lisa Davis, who just loves a kid, and she was so thrilled to have been selected Support Person of the Year. I just want to say a little bit about expulsion. It's horrible, you know, that we even have to go through that. But expulsion is a last resort for a school, a last resort. That means that they have followed everything that is written in policy. They have tried everything they can do to rehab a student who has chronic bad behavior. Expulsion is not a first choice. We don't want to expel students. We want them in class. But students and parents have to accept responsibility for their actions. And if all of these things that these principals and these deans and these teachers have done have not worked, and the behavior is still unacceptable, then we have to do what we have to do. Nobody likes it. But there are students, the majority of the students in our schools are there because they want to learn. And a teacher cannot teach students with some of the behavior that is going on in our schools. And I just think it's very important that the public know we aren't just willy-nilly expelling students. It truly is a last resort. And I, too, Mr. Buckles mentioned that we will be having a workshop at 1 o'clock on February 19th on discipline. And I'm looking forward to the presentation, you know, and finding out more ways that we can support our teachers in the classroom with these students for whatever reason. They don't want to be there. They don't want to learn, and their actions and their behavior shows that. And anyway, that's all I have to say.
Okay. All right. I'd just like to commend the committee for the Martin Luther King Day breakfast. They had a breakfast, and they recognized aspiring young people that are doing great things in our community. And then they had the parade and the activities at the foot of the bridge with the county coming together. Again, I too want to say to Mrs. Whitehurst and your committee, an excellent banquet. I call it a banquet celebration of the finest of the finest that you all had to offer. It was, the food was great, the company was great, and again, a hats off to you. I attended we call it a homegoing celebration for City Commissioner Marcus Jerome Hardy. If you could have seen Putnam County supporting and pouring out love to that family. The wife is an employee of ours, and her school sent words of condolences and all of the things that you need to help you get through those moments. To Mrs. Spell, she was there with her entourage. I mean, she had the whole posse. They were there, the bus drivers. It was beautiful. And when Kim was able to look and see all of the love that was being poured out through those that came and stayed through all of it, and it was a tremendous service. It lasted long, but it was well worth it. And I just wanted to mention that. And I'm just so proud of our superintendent, and how he shows up at these things, and he's showing the community that he is a leader, because I have seen no one lead from behind. And so it takes that to push us to where we need to go. To all of the community members that are concerned about things that are happening in our schools, you're doing the right thing. You bring it to us so that we will know, and we will certainly look into it. To you, Mrs. Brantley, we will support you, and to you, Mr. Shaw, we will be looking into that. The superintendent will take care of that, because that's his lane. I have to stay in my lane, but certainly he will take care of it. And again, it takes all of us working together to make our district what we want it to be. For the insurance committee meeting, as Jane said, we understand a little better now, that it's not easy, but we know that we need healthier people, and we want everybody insured, because it's impossible to pay for some of the tests and things you have to have done, but it's even harder without some type of insurance. And so just thank you all, every one of you, for what you do. All right, Mr. Attorney.
Everything is going well in the legal department.
And thank you for your counsel. Mr. Superintendent?
Yeah, I have a few things, and I'll go through them very fast. I want to congratulate the Palatka High robotics team. They have qualified to be at the state championship.
Awesome.
On February 23rd, and we'll have people come be at the Prime Osborne Center in Jacksonville, and I think if you plan on going, I think you have to make, well, you can go, but I mean, if you want to be in the VIP section, maybe, I don't know, but if you can go, we'll get you the information. But we plan on recognizing them at a board meeting. We're not going to ask them to bring the robots, but just come stand up here, maybe after the championship. Hopefully they'll bring home a state championship. So congratulations, Mr. Stout, for a job well done there. We just received our advanced ed final report for our accreditation, and we will probably come to you at our next board meeting. Ms. Francis is not here today, but I want to be able to give you a summary of that report. I think you've seen the draft. It's very similar to the draft, but I think you'll be very proud of Putnam County, so we'll provide it at the next board meeting. Ms. Pickens talked about our student advisory meetings, and we held these at all three sections of the county prior to our superintendent advisory meetings, and we were very amazed by what the students were telling us. These were middle and high school students, and we asked them, what is one thing you like about your school? What's one thing you like to see improved about your school? And that was kind of enlightening. But the overall theme on the positive part is the relationships with their teachers, their staff, their administration.
Awesome. That's
across the board. And I think that says wonders about our staff out there.
That's part of what you guys have been pushing. You got to have good relationships with staff.
And that's going to be, we'll bring that out in the advanced ed report too. So good stuff going on. And they gave, kids will be honest with you too, and they brought out some things that they had concerns about. So we're addressing that with the schools. We're also doing the same thing with our teachers and support staff. And we decided with our teachers of the year, we would let them be representatives of teachers, and we brought them in this room. We asked them to give us input on our six goals of our administration. But most important, we did the same exercise. What's one thing you like? What's one thing you want to see improved? So we got some good feedback there. And on February the 11th, we're going to do that with our support employees of the year. We're going to bring them back in here in the afternoon of the 11th and do the same thing.
Are you gonna let us know?
Great idea.
Yeah, we'll report out. Yeah. But we want to make sure we hit all aspects of our
Awesome.
stakeholders.
That's ever been really done in that.
That says to them alone that you value their opinion, and that's all we're trying to do, is show people that we appreciate them. Because they're not going to get to school if somebody doesn't drive them, some won't eat. I mean, so it's all of us.
Yeah.
All of us.
And that's one of our strategic goals. We are trying to reach out and have that communication with all our stakeholders. So it's been very beneficial for us. And we'll share that information. One other thing I want to mention, the administration is actually putting together a video. Felicia Cahan is kind of leading the charge along with our media department. But we are producing a video that can be shown in any venue that's going to show what does the vision of Putnam County look like. We talk about what we want it to look like, but what's it actually going to look like? And we're going to be interviewing multitudes of students, staff, some of you guys, business people, and it's going to be really neat. And we kind of have a target. We're shooting for springtime. It'd be nice to have that ready to go for some of our banquets and, that type of thing. So we'll keep you updated, but it's going to be something you're going to be really proud of.
Can it be used in recruiting?
Absolutely, yeah. So we want to be able to attract a number of audiences by showing this. So we'll keep you updated on that. But if you have any questions, see Felicia. She's in charge of that. Today I was at Mosley Elementary for several hours, and the CEO from Learning Sciences International was there. I mean, the head guy with some of his staff walking around. We were walking classrooms, and I came on back for this meeting, and they went down to Miller to walk around Miller Middle School. But they were just totally amazed by what's going on at Mosley. Mosley is going to be a model school. I see Miss France just came in, and Mr. Hinkie, but Mosley is actually going to be presenting at their national conference in the summertime. Wow. Students are going to be presenting.
Yes.
Down in Orlando. So you should be very proud of what's going on at Mosley.
And then the district can just take them on to Disney World afterwards.
Yeah, hey.
And I'll chaperone.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good stuff going on at Mosley, and it's being recognized by their national organization. So we'll keep you posted on that. And I think that's all I have. So thank you for a great meeting. And
Rick, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
In case they get a call, you want to mention maybe some of the brief summary of some of the plans you've got in the construction of 5-year plan?
Yeah, what we're doing, and I was going to bring this up later, we have notified or sent an application into the Commissioner of Education, and this is the first step of the process. But we are in the process of asking for special facilities appropriations from the legislature for 2020. And you have to ask this far ahead of time, but this is a request of ours based on our facility needs to do renovations at both Interlochen High School and Crescent City High School in buildings 1 in both schools. And we're talking about going through and gutting those buildings and completely renovating those buildings.
Making them brand new, yeah.
Yeah, make them brand new. So that is our plan. We're working on it. Mr. Bowling is in charge of that project, and we'll be having meetings, and I talked to our lobbyist today about it, so we are working on it. But I just want, if you get a call about it, that's what our plan is.
Yeah, my call that I mentioned earlier was from a contractor that had worked for Putnam County in the past and heard we were building a new high school, and I had to call the superintendent and find out his proposed changes, and just in case you guys get a call, somebody tries to take you out to dinner, you'll know what it's probably about.
I think when we sent the letter to the commissioner, I think the word gets out.
I think the architect may have let it out.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll keep you posted on that, but it's a long-term process.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right, what we're going to do now is have a brief recess so we can get ready for executive session, collective bargaining.